Today we are discussing Ode on a Grecian Urn by John Keats. So, before going into the poem, let's talk about John Keats, the poet. John Keats was born in 1795 and he died in 1821. He was an English romantic poet. He belongs to the second generation of romantic poets. They are called the younger romantics. The other two younger romantics are Lord Byron and Percy Bysshe Shelley. So, Keats's poems were not actually well received by the readers or the critics during his lifetime. And his fame increased after his death in 1821. The main characteristic of his poetry is it is heavily loaded with sensualities. It is evident predominantly in his odes. Now look at the main works written by Keats. Sleep and Poetry, Endymion, Isabella or the Port of Basil, Hyperion. Hyperion is an unfinished work. Then The Eve of St. Agnes, Lamia. These are some of his poems. And now these are his odes. Ode on a Grecian Urn, Ode on Indolence, Ode on Melancholy, Ode to a Nightingale, Ode to Psyche, Ode to Autumn. These are his odes. And as I have already said, Keats died in 1821 at the age of 25. He died because of tuberculosis, and so his death was unexpected and it was a tragic one because he died at a very young age and his life span was very short, but he wrote beautiful poems within that short period of time. And this poem, it was first published anonymously in 1819 July in a journal called Annals of the Fine Arts. And later it appeared in Keats's third and final publication that is titled as Lamia, Isabella, The Eve of St. Agnes and Other Poems. It was in 1820. Now about the structure of the poem. This poem is divided into 5 stanzas of 10 lines each. Now the technique used in this poem is ekphrasis. Ekphrasis is the poetic representation of a painting or sculpture in words. In other words, it's a kind of meditation of one medium of art on another medium of art. Here, poetry is meditating on sculpture. Here, Keats wrote a poem on an urn. The main themes in this poem are art, beauty, truth, time, etc. Here the poet describes or he distinguishes between the permanence of art and the transience of human life. And Keats was attracted by the Greek sculptures and carvations, and he visited the British Museum to see the Elgin marbles. And he has written a sonnet titled On Seeing the Elgin Marbles for the First Time. And It is said that he copied the picture of an urn from the book on ancient monuments by F. and P. Piranesi. And anyway, here he is not describing a specific urn. Hmm. Here, this urn is in Keats' imagination, and it is not a real one, I think. He imagines an urn which is filled with beautiful carvations of rustic life. Hmm. And it is a Grecian urn. The poem is mainly divided into three parts. The first stanza is introduction, and second, third, and fourth stanzas are the description of the urn, and fifth stanza is the conclusion. So now let's move on to the poem. Thou still and ravished bride of quietness, thou foster child of silence and slow time, sylvan historian, who canst thus express a flowery tale more sweetly than our rhyme. What leaf-fringed legend haunts about thy shape, of deities or mortals, or of both? In temp, or the tales of Arcady? What men or gods are these? What maidens loath? What mad pursuit? What struggle to escape? What pipes and timbrels? What wild ecstasy? So, in the first stanza, the speaker or the poet is standing before an ancient urn and he addresses it as the unravished bride of quietness. Here, unravished means untouched. The urn is a bride and it is wedded to quietness. And after its creation, it is not touched by any person. Then he addresses it as the adopted child or the foster child of silence and time. And because it is created by some unknown person, but now it is in the hands of silence and time. The urn is a sylvan historian. Sylvan historian means a historian who tells the stories of rural lives and of the woodlands. Sylvan related to, or the word sylvan means woodland. So he could tell beautiful stories than the poet. The poet says that this urn could tell beautiful stories that than the poet could tell through his poems. Its visual storytelling surpasses poetry in sweetness. And Keats wonders about the figures on the side of the urn and asks what legend they depict. So there are many figures and depictions on that urn, on the sides of the urn, and he imagines the scenes are set in Greek places like Temp or Arcady. Temp and or Arcady are beautiful pastoral places in Greek. And he looks at the depiction of some men pursuing a group of women, group of maiden, and wonders what their stories could be. What mad pursuit, what struggles to escape, what pipes and timbrels, what wild ecstasy. So he is watching a scene that is depicted on the urn. A group of men or a man is pursuing a maiden, and the maidens are running away from the man, and they maybe they are afraid of this man. Hmm? And she is struggling to escape from this man. And there are some pipes and timbrels. They are musical instruments. Some people are playing these musical instruments. And what wild ecstasy, he asked. What are these wild passions? The figures in this, the figures on this urn expressing. Now we are moving to the stanza 2. Heard melodies are sweet, but those unheard are sweeter. Therefore, ye soft pipes play on, not to the sensual ear, but more endeared. Pipe to the spirit ditties of no tone. Fair youth, beneath the trees thou canst not leave thy song, nor ever can those trees be bare. Bold lover, never, never canst thou kiss, though winning near the goal, yet do not grieve. She cannot fade, though thou hast not thy bliss. Forever wilt thou love, and she be fair. And here the poet sees another picture on the urn, a young man playing a pipe, and he is lying beneath a tree. The poet says this young man or this piper uh, uh, is playing a melodious song, and his unheard melodies are sweeter than the usual heard melodies. Because the music of the piper cannot be heard by the human ears or the sensual ears. It is it directly appeals to the spirit or soul of the listeners. And because his melodies are unaffected by time, and the tree under which he is lying will not shed a leaf. It is evergreen. The tree is also frozen in time, so it will not be bare. It cannot shed a leaf. Then he saw another picture of a bold lover who is trying to kiss his beloved. The bold lover, never, never canst thou kiss. So he is trying to kiss his beloved. He can never kiss his lover because they are frozen in time. They are also frozen in time. And so he cannot kiss his beloved. He is trying to kiss his beloved, but he was caught in that moment, or he is frozen in that moment. And then the poet consoles that passionate lover not to grieve, because even though he could not fulfill his bliss or his passion to kiss her, there is this advantage that the beauty of the lady will not fade. She will be fair forever. They will not affected by the time. Now moving on to the third stanza. Ah, happy, happy boughs that cannot shed your leaves, nor ever bid the spring adieu, and happy melodist unwearied, forever piping songs forever new, more happy love, more happy, happy love, forever warm and still to be enjoyed, forever panting and forever young, all breathing human passion far above that leaves a heart high sorrowful and cloyed, a burning forehead and a parching tongue. Here he reflects on the eternal spring depicted on the urn. There are the depictions of many trees on that urn, and those trees never lose their leaves. Hmm? And the spring will last forever for them. So the leaves of the trees will not change. It will not become yellow or it will not fall from the tree. And the musician who is playing the pipe under the tree will never become tired. Hmm? He plays fresh tunes forever. And the love portrayed on the urn is also eternal. The love between this bold lover and his beloved will remain the same after ages. Here he distinguishes between the love portrayed in the urn and the love of real human beings. And he says human love is mortal. Human passions bring pain, sorrow, and distress. Human passions are not constant. So their emotions and passions are not eternal. It will change. So their passions bring them a kind of sorrow, distress, worries, etc. So they cannot sustain a passion within themselves. But here, the love portrayed in this urn is everlasting. The love between the lover and his beloved will not change anymore. They can, but they can sustain it for a long time, till the end of time. Now, stanza 4. Who are these coming to the sacrifice? To what green altar, O mysterious priest, leadst thou that heifer lowing at the skies, and all her silken flanks with garlands dressed? What little town by river or seashore or mountain built with peaceful citadel is emptied of this folk, this pious morn? And little town, thy streets forevermore will silent be, and not a soul to tell why thou art desolate can ever return. Here he examines another picture on the urn. That is a group of villagers leading a heifer to the a heifer that is to be sacrificed. So here is a depiction of a ceremonial procession of villagers. And the poet wonders where are they going and from where they have come. There is a priest who is mysterious. That means an unknown priest. The priest is leading a heifer. The heifer is lowing at the skies, or he is crying, or he is praying to the god, or he is looking at the skies, and all her silken flanks with garlands dressed, and this heifer is dressed and decorated with flowers and ornaments. And it is they are bringing this, they are leading this heifer to give a sacrifice. So Keats imagines their little town, the town of the villagers, empty of all its citizens, and he addresses the little town, and he tells it that its streets will forevermore be silent, because those who left the town frozen on the urn and they will never return. So he is thinking about the little town the emptied by its citizens, because all of the citizens in that village are attending this ceremonial procession. And so the town will not be crowded anymore, and the citizens will not return to their village or to that little town. O Attic shape, fair attitude, with breed of marble men and maidens overwrought, with forest branches and the trodden weed, thou silent form, dost tease us out of thought, as thought eternity, cold pastoral, when old age shall this generation waste, thou shalt remain in midst of other woe than ours, a friend to man, to whom thou sayest, beauty is truth, truth beauty. That is all ye knew, sorry, that is all ye know on earth and all ye need to know. So, in this final stanza, he admires the urn as an eternal piece of art, unaffected by time. The urn is beautiful, but it is lifeless and frozen in time. So, he calls it cold pastoral. He thinks that when his generation is long dead, the urn will remain, telling future generations its enigmatic lesson: beauty is truth, truth beauty. He says that it is the only thing the urn knows and the only thing it needs to know.